This is Crazy Keon hanging with the Hazes. Today I'm telling you about the worst camping spots I've ever been to. Spots so bad you'll thank me for the warning. Right here on Hanging with the Hazes. Picture this. Y'all ever pulled up somewhere thinking it was going to be this peaceful, quiet, perfect place, and then 5 minutes later you're ready to pack up and roll out? Yeah, that is exactly what happened to me on a couple of occasions. So here's what we're going to do. I'm Crazy Keon, hanging with the Hazes, and this is the story of the absolute worst RV parks I've ever stayed at. I'm going to give you my bottom 5. So coming in at number 5, it's not bad because it's a bad campground. It's bad for other reasons. So number 5 on the list is going to be Big Oaks Campground, Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Now, why is that such a bad place? I'm going to tell you why. The reason why this is such a horrible place has nothing to do with the campground. It has everything to do with location, location, location. It is right there 2 miles out of Rehoboth Beach. It's a few miles down the road from Cape Henlopen. It's a great place. The problem is getting in it. If you got anything over 20 feet, good luck. I had to make hairpin turns, U-turns, this, that, the other, pass a pop quiz, and some more stuff. Here's the other thing that happened to me while I was there. It's in sand. My coach was sitting on sand. My jacks got stuck in the coach. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. There's nothing worse than you trying to boogie out of town and all of a sudden your jacks are stuck. Here's the other thing I'm gonna tell you about this campground that you need to know about, and you could take it or leave it. Some people it's an issue. For me, it was not. If you are not into the Civil War or you are offended by the Confederacy, you probably don't want to go here. Now, I'm not offended by it. I grew up in the South. I could care less. If you want to fly a Confederate flag, great. But some people may have an issue with it. So between the Confederate flags that some folks might have an issue with, the fact that you're in sand and you might not be able to get your jacks out, and getting in and out of the park, out was not bad, but getting in, the way I had to do it, coming off the main drag, I would have rather chewed on barbed wire than to try to get 40 feet of coach in there. So it's not the campground per se, it's everything around it and what it's sitting on that is the bigger problem. Number 5, Big Oaks Campground, Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. All right, so unless you are an absolute fan of smelling landfill trash when you go camping, the next campground that we're going to talk about will probably not be where you want to stay. We are talking about Lewistown, KOA at Niagara Falls. Yes, you heard it. It is 4 blocks away, if not less than 4 blocks away from a landfill. And I smelled landfill doo-doo half the night. That was the only big concern I had about it. Not only do you smell the landfill, but you drive right past it. Now, I'm sure the landfill may have been there prior to the KOA being there. And don't get me wrong, the KOA itself works. It's not too far off of the New York Three-Way, off of 90. And, it's a great, convenient place, maybe about 20 minutes drive away from the falls themselves. However, again, on the wrong warm night, you're going to smell trash all the time. Now, I was there in September. It was about maybe 65 degrees during the day, maybe 70. So it wasn't too bad, but can you only imagine how that landfill smells when it's 90 degrees outside, even at 85 degrees with all of that humidity? All you're going to do is wake up and smell 3-week, 4-week, 5-month-old bacon. Doesn't smell that grand. Other than that, the campground is great. Great amenities, great hosts, all of that. I just wish they could move their neighbors. So, number 4 on the list, again, Niagara Falls, Lewistown Campground in Niagara Falls, New York. All right, y'all. Number 3 on the list is a place that I actually love going to. The problem is this particular campground, I don't suggest anybody stay at. I've seen homeless encampments in San Francisco look better than this place. I'm talking none other than 1,000 Trails, Las Vegas. Now, here's the thing. It looks okay from the pictures until you drive in. This is one of those spots where you have to read the reviews. Now, Everybody knows Crazy Keon does not care for Thousand Trails, but this is one of the reasons why. So there are people that are there long term. The problem is not the long term part, it's the fact that they allow people to live there and look like they live there. And a lot of the people appear to have come from somebody's trailer park, and they bring all their stuff with them. If they enforced some rules and cleaned up the place and maybe did a little bit with the parking situation, the place might not be that bad. Those who are paying a little bit more money for their membership, maybe they get on the good side of the park, if there is one. I mean, the absolute only reason why it's not number one is because number one is pretty crappy. But this, Las Vegas, that's the only thing. Sin City, that's what's saving this from being that high up on the list. If you are traveling to Las Vegas, definitely go to Oasis down at the end of South Las Vegas Boulevard. Don't even pay this place any attention. Yeah, they're about the same distance, but the quality and the money that you pay is definitely worth it in the upkeep of the campground. I saw this place and was like, what? What? And Thousand Trails west of the Mississippi is pretty good. For God's sake, don't stay on one on the east side of the Mississippi, but don't go to this one either. Thousand Trails Las Vegas, you got to do better. All right, so this next campground, not a bad place at all, but it's just as bad as it is good, and that's the reason why it made number 2. Number 2 campground on my list, before we get to the almighty number 1, Enfield, Rocky Mount, KOA, in Enfield, North Carolina. Now, somebody would say, Keon, you love KOA. Why is this one the pits? Well, very simple. If you are over the age of 40, you're going to miss the sign. Now, here's what you have to do if you miss that sign. Let's say, for instance, you're driving 40 feet of Fleetwood Discovery motorhome with a car towing behind you, and now you got to turn around in the middle of the street at the next intersection a half a mile down the road at, let's say, 11:30 at night. And if you know anything about that part of North Carolina, you cannot see your hand in front of you, much less anything else. I can't tell you what was rustling in those woods back there. I did not know whether or not I needed to keep my shotgun close by me or whether or not to just take off running and let the family fend for themselves. It was pretty bad. So the campground itself, once I got turned around and I got in there, the directions to get around the place, I was all over the place with this coach trying to figure out the correct direction to drive in. Now, during the daylight hours, you're good. It's a journey. It's right off the highway. It works. But if you get there after sundown, it's not a pretty party at all. So I finally get in there. I finally get into my space. I finally get everything hooked up. And then I start looking down at the electric and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Drop neutral. I'm browning. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Okay. Now, here's the good part about it. It was $60 a night. That's the good part. The bad part is that it could have burned down the coach. Well, not really burned it down, but you get my point. Like, the fact that your electricity is not stable is not cool in the Western world. It's just not. And, you know, you're right off of, I-95. That was a cool thing, you know. But other than that, the campground got a little bit of size to it if you go in the back a little bit. The sites were nice size. By the way, if you don't have a fire pit, that's the other thing. Make sure you bring one, because if you don't have one, you won't have a fire. They don't have fire pits there. You kind of sort of on your own with that. Firewood, you're on your own. And there are bugs as big as this mouse. Imagine, but you can't control that. I mean, that's northern North Carolina on the east side, and it's just what it is. Anyway, nevertheless, the bigger issue, like I said, is making sure that you don't miss the sign, making sure that you can get around in there once you do get in, and making sure that you bring your own fire pit, because if you don't have one, you'll be singing Kumbaya over a grill that might be under your coach, whether it be gas or charcoal. It's about the best you're going to get. Enfield, Rocky Mount, number 2 on the list. Think twice and probably stay in Emporia. That's what I would say to that. All right, so if you never ever decide to camp again, make sure it's not because you stayed at this next campground and did not listen to Crazy Keon right here on Hanging with the Hazers First. You never, ever, ever, ever want to stay at this campground. I mean, don't ever if your life depends on it. Ben Franklin Campground, York, Pennsylvania. It is a straight up, nope, nada. Don't do it. Let me tell you why. First time I pull into this campground, I decided to drive through it with my car. Only because I happened to be out with the kids and I figured, might be a quick, hour getaway from home, and we can head over to Hershey Park after the fact, maybe hit up Lancaster, do something, grab some great eats, that type of thing. Pulled in there and I'm like, what kind of recreational trash park trailer thing is this? I couldn't believe it. And then I saw the prices of it and I'm like, yo, you gotta be kidding me. Are there one or two sites that's decent? Yeah. Are any of them level? Yeah. If a drunk man did it, like hold my beer and sat one end of the level on the beer can and the other down and said, yeah, it's level. Nah. Just don't do it. Don't do it. It's right off of 30. It is convenient. But unless you are in dire straits, and I say dire straits like you got to get towed out within the next couple of hours, do not stay here. There are other places in the area of York, Pennsylvania that you can stay and have a much better experience than getting the, $500,000 trailer park experience, $500,000 motorhome in a trailer park that is not well kept. Like, it's not. I'm tripping over words because I just don't know how much more I can say about this place and how much I need you never, ever, ever to go. If you need to stay in that area, drive a little bit farther, hit Harrisburg Campground East up. 25 million times better. If you got to go down 83, hit up Merry Meadows over in Freeland, Maryland. You can go a little bit closer to Hershey Park, hit Hershey Roads Campground. Gifford Pinchot is right up the road on 83. There's a Cracker Barrel right there at Pauline Drive that you can just stay at for the night. Boondock. Do not give them your money. Do not stay here. You have heard it from Crazy Keon. Don't do it. Well, you've heard it from Crazy Keon. Don't say I didn't tell you or I didn't warn you. You stay at one of these places and you have a horrible time, you didn't listen to Crazy Keon on Hanging with the Hazes. Make sure you like and subscribe, because guess what? We also will tell you the best campgrounds that we ever stayed at right here on Hanging with the Hazes. We'll see you in 2 shakes of a nickel.